Hey, what's up, guys? It's Potato Wedge, and don't have the rest of the Wedge Gang here with me, obviously, but because I'm still in the same spot as the last two videos. But I say that because this is gonna be, I guess, the part two of ranking all the Star Wars movies that I'm only just now getting to, but was planning on doing it with the rest of the Wedge Gang, but we all work. We all don't have a lot of free time, so we can't exactly all get together just to make a video. But this is going to be part two to that, and there's really only like one movie left. The reason I'm doing a part two, I think I've said it before, but the reason I have to do a part two is because my phone recorded all the way up until we got to our number one pick, and then it just cut off because there was no more space left on my phone. I'm not using my phone anymore. I'm using my girlfriend's laptop. So hopefully it just won't cut off. But if you go back and watch my last video, see where we left off, it's pretty obvious what all of our number ones are because we all had the same number one. And that is Revenge of the Sith. And I can't really speak for them, but I kind of can because not all their views coincide with mine, but most of them do, I would say. So, the reason why Revenge of the Sith is my number one Star Wars movie, my favorite of all time, is because, for one, it's the very first Star Wars movie I ever saw. When it came out back when I was 5 years old. It was the very first Star Wars movie I ever saw. Popped it in for the first time when it came out, and I was just astounded with what I was watching. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and I loved every second of it. And I will admit, as I've grown older, especially in the past few years, I haven't really returned to it and watched it as much as I did growing up. But at this point in my life, I've seen it so many times that I don't even have to watch the movie anymore. Literally, the entire movie is ingrained in. Is that how you say that? Ingrained? I don't know. At this point in life, that movie is in my brain. So if I wanted to watch it, I literally have the entire movie in my head. So I don't know. I don't know if that's weird, but that's how it is, you know. What the fuck was that? I think somebody's trying to break in my house. But will you stop? Can y'all hear that? I don't know why I'm asking you. You can't answer me. But as you guys can pretty much tell from my shrine, that's what my girlfriend calls it, a shrine. But Anakin is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. He's my favorite Jedi. Darth Vader is my favorite Sith. And it just is awesome that they just happen to be the same person. But the reason I love this movie, to me, I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with the prequels, but to me, this is the perfect Star Wars movie. This is a perfect movie. There's nothing wrong with it to me. So, the story, you go from the love story of Attack of the Clones, which was beautiful, to pretty much all action, pretty much action the entire movie. With a couple, like, love scenes and stuff between Anakin and Padme and everything. This is the movie that we learn that Padme is pregnant with Luke and Leia. This is the movie where we meet General Grievous and see him die in the same movie. I mean, if you're not like a hardcore Star Wars fan like me, you met Grievous before that, but if you're not a hardcore fan like me, then this is the first time you meet him. But even as a young even as a young kid, say like, I wouldn't say months after the movie came out, but pretty much forever since that movie came out. When I was a kid, I would just pick up a stick with my little brother and we would play fucking, lightsabers and shit. So Star Wars really had a massive impact on my life. Pretty much there's not a single day that goes by that I don't think about Star Wars at least once a day. I'm constantly thinking about Star Wars 50% of every day. Like I said, Anakin is my favorite character. I'm constantly so I don't know. I mean, I know a lot about Star Wars and a lot about Anakin and Vader in general, those two characters in general. I know a lot, but I don't know everything, which is why I'm still constantly, trying to learn new stuff about Anakin, learn new stuff about Vader, whether it's through comics, TV shows, news media that Disney releases, or shit like that. But I'm constantly trying to learn new stuff about that character, and it's just, I don't really I don't really know how to explain it to you guys. It's just, Revenge of the Sith, like I said, perfect movie to me. You get all these things. You get the brotherly relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. And that's another thing about Revenge of the Sith. This movie has so much depth and emotion that went right over most people's heads. And I do think it's funny that ever since the sequels came out, everybody who was hating on the prequels went back and watched them. They were like, "Oh, these aren't that bad." No, fuck you, dude. Get that shit out of here. You didn't even like the prequels till the sequels came out. But in this movie, like I said, we get basically what it boils down to is Anakin is hurting, and because his wife, he's getting visions of Padme dying, and naturally he wants to save her. That's his wife, he loves her. He wants to save her. He asks multiple Jedi what he should do. He asked Master Yoda what he should do about it, without outright coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm married and have a kid on the way." But he asked Yoda what to do. Yoda basically just tells him to, deal with it, and death is a natural part of life, which it is. But as humans, we're gonna want to prevent that. So Anakin tries to prevent that. Yoda basically tells him, "Go suck a dick, you can't do anything about it, and just deal with it." So he starts talking to Palpatine, and Palpatine tells him the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, who was the Sith Lord who was able to cheat death and save the people that he loved and cared about. And of course, Anakin is going to find this interesting because that's exactly what he's going through. He wants to find a way to save Padme. So he listens to the story, and he asks Palpatine if it's even possible to learn that power. And Palpatine's pretty much like, you can't learn that from a Jedi because they don't study it. And if they do study it, they're sure as hell not going to tell you about it. So that's pretty much the final catalyst to pretty much have Anakin go to the dark side, because it's all been building up since the Clone Wars, or really before the Clone Wars, since episode 1, really. It's episode 1 when Anakin first gets there. They say he's too old to be trained, which he was only fucking 9. It's not old at all. He's too old to be trained. Nobody trusts him, even though he's a child and hasn't done anything yet. They don't trust him. You know, throughout the comics of him going through his Padawan training before episode 2, you see him excel so much faster and so much better than all the other younglings. You know, he's he's better than them, and he knows he's better than them. He's faster than them. You know, he's pretty much better all the way around. And he knows it. That's why when episode 2 rolls around, he's cocky, because he's excelling at all these things that his peers, his youngling peers, are learning slowly, and he's getting it like that. So there's even a comic where he's still a youngling, I think he's about like 12 when this comic takes place. I might be wrong. He's around that age range, but the council, the Jedi Masters, want to see his lightsaber skills, so they put on a hologram for him to fight, and he beats all the holograms. And he secretly programmed a hologram to look and mimic the exact moves of Darth Maul, and he beat the hologram in like 5 seconds. So naturally the council was shocked, but Anakin was just trying to prove a point that, you know, if he had been trained, I mean, not as a youngling, obviously, but pretty much he did it to let the council know that Qui-Gon's death was a very big deal to him. And it was, because in another comic separate to that, if he had never been tempted by the dark side and never turned, and Padme had lived and had their child, this is in Anakin's head, but he sees a world where all that doesn't happen. Padme has their kid, and they name their son, or he names their son Jin after Qui-Gon. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but still, you know. And then you get to episode 2, where he's really cocky, and that's really the first time that he fights a Sith Lord, and he loses because he got cocky. So he loses his arm, and, you know, he's having visions of his mother dying, and he tells Obi-Wan about it, and Obi-Wan basically tells him what Yoda told him in episode 3, which was deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it, which there is. But so by the time episode 3 rolls around, we had just got done with the Clone Wars, and Anakin was literally the poster boy for the Clone Wars. He was the Jedi hero of the Clone Wars. So the Jedi made him the hero of the Clone Wars. They made him a top general, and he was one of the best. And then after everything he's done for the Jedi Order, they insult him by inviting him to be on the Jedi Council, but they're not going to give you the rank of Master. Because in order to get the rank of Master, you have to fully train a Padawan all the way up to knighthood, which he didn't do. Due to no fault of his own, but his Padawan Ahsoka decided, after she was framed, and nobody believed her but Anakin, she decided she wanted to leave the Jedi Order because she was like, this ain't worth it. You know, if they're not going to believe me, and I've done nothing but good things for them, then it ain't worth it. So she leaves, and that's the reason why, well, also because Mace Windu doesn't trust him. So they invite him to be on the council and deny him the rank of master, which is pretty much just a fucking big ass fuck you to your face. Is that, like pretty much just sit down and let the grown-ups make the decisions for you and you just go along with it. No, fuck that. So that pisses him. It pissed me off too. I mean, shit. That pisses him off. Nobody will help him, and he needed the rank of master to get into the restricted section to study Jedi and Sith holocrons, scrolls, all that type of shit to find a way that would possibly find a way so he could save Padme. Find that information. They don't give him that, so they basically leave him with no other choice. So he turns to the dark side, becomes Darth Vader, and pretty much just kills all the Jedi, So, we also get the most badass lightsaber battle ever to hit the screen, which is Anakin versus Obi-Wan. I also believe it's like the longest lightsaber fight we've ever gotten. But such a beautifully choreographed fight. Everybody was complaining when it came out. It's like they're dancing. No shit. It's supposed to be. That's what y'all don't get. Everything to y'all has to be original trilogy because the original trilogy is the best. It's got to be done. No. But we get that awesome ass battle. Anakin loses because once again he got cocky. And he was going to try to kill Obi-Wan with his own move, which that didn't work out. So he gets his legs and his other arm cut off, and he gets the suit for the first time. And, Darth Vader, people say Darth Vader was born when his suit came on, or when he got the suit, but no, Darth Vader was born, I'd say, during the Jedi Purge. I'd say that's when it happened. Because you have Anakin, who's no longer Anakin, because Anakin wouldn't do these things. But you have Vader marching to the Jedi Temple and literally murdering not only everybody he's ever been friends with, but he's also killing kids, And, that's not Anakin. That's Vader. But, and then the end of the movie, Padme dies. Twins are born. They're separated to keep them safe from Vader and the Emperor. And then that's pretty much where Obi-Wan goes on isolation on Tatooine and Yoda goes to Dagobah, and that's pretty much where the movie ends. But, like I said, to me this is pretty much a perfect movie. I love this movie to death. It's my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Anakin is my favorite character. And honestly, this may get me some shit, but I love Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. I loved him as Darth Vader. And I get that. I even encourage people to have their own opinions, but there's a difference between having your own opinion and just being a dick about it. Basically what I'm saying is you can have your own opinion and disagree with somebody and be civil about it, and then you can be like the toxic Star Wars fans and say Hayden Christensen's the worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars. No, fuck you, dude. First off, that's Rey, okay? Rey's the worst thing that's ever happened to Star Wars. But, like I said, didn't have the rest of the Wedge Gang here with me because they're off being stupid. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little part 2. Went off the rails a little bit, but I kind of wanted to pretty much point out the reasons why he went to the dark side to save Padme and everything leading up to it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video for today. like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you guys next time.